Hi, everybody. This is Donna Marie Saratella with Direct Selling Solutions, and I'm here with Kevin Grimes. We're going to talk to you about compliance solutions today. Hi, Kevin. How you doing today?
Doing very well, Donna Marie. Thank you so much. It's a
Thank
beautiful
you.
day here in the hinterlands of Idaho.
Yes, and here in Las Vegas, it's only 100 degrees today.
Oh, wow. I think it's in the 60s here.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's very nice. Well, I know, Kevin, every time that I've chatted with you about drug claims, you tell me how serious it is, and you share this particular section of the federal regulations that talks about drug claims.
Mhm.
And I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I want to work with this first paragraph a little bit that talks about the FDA will find that a statement about the product claims to diagnose, mitigate, treat, cure, or prevent disease. We've all heard that and seen it in the disclaimers. But what can you kind of set up our conversation today about?
Right. Well, so you're quoting Title 21 of the Code of Federal Regulations, Section 101.93, and that's a regulation that the Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, developed around the definition of a drug that's set forth in the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. And so the act, there are really four different ways that a product can fall within the purview of a drug under the act. But the one that trips up dietary supplement marketers is the second one, which is an article intended for use in the diagnosis, treatment, cure, prevention, or mitigation of a disease. And so an article, well, that's anything, could be a pill, could be a liquid, could be, anything that we ingest, intended for use. That's really the key catchphrase. You know, for what use is this product intended? Is it intended as a conventional food? Is it intended to be a cosmetic? Is it intended to be a dietary supplement or something else? And basically the intended use is a function of what people say about it, whether it's the company or whether it's a distributor.
Mhm.
Intended use is going to flow out of that. It's going to flow out of product testimonials. It's going to flow out of web pages, etc. And again, articles intended for use in the cure, treatment, diagnosis, prevention, or mitigation of a disease. And so one of the things that Section 101.93 does is that it also sets forth the FDA's definition of a disease, which is pretty expansive.
Absolutely. Well, on our checklist, we talk about that. We talk about the two types of claims, the express claim and the implied claim. And this took me a little while to get used to. The express claims usually do mention the names of the disease, and the implied claims don't. They imply. And that's something that people don't understand sometimes when they show a big wad of money or money floating down from the sky. They don't understand that that's an implied claim. What can you share with us about express claims and implied claims that we would need to know?
An example of an express claim would be I had diabetes. I took this product and this product cured my diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
That's about as clear of a claim as you can make. There's no question as to what the claim is. This product cured my diabetes. An implied claim doesn't expressly or specifically or explicitly state the causal relationship between the product and the end result, but it's implied. For example, 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with diabetes. I'm not a diabetic. I don't have diabetes, but this is just an example. 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with diabetes. 3 months ago, I started taking product X. Today, I am absolutely diabetes free. It's
Mm.
confirmed by, test results from my physician over the last month. You know, I'm not saying that this product cured my diabetes, but the implication, I had diabetes. I started taking the product 3 months ago, and now I don't have it. The implication or the implied claim is the product cured my diabetes. And that's just as much of a problematic claim as is an express claim.
Okay.
Sometimes it can be difficult to know where exactly is the line between this condition and a similar condition. One of the differentiators that the FTC's articulated is the difference between a chronic condition versus a non-chronic condition. For example, if we're talking about chronic sleeplessness, well, that is tantamount to insomnia. But again, occasional sleeplessness is not insomnia.
It does all depend on the context of it.
Yeah, it absolutely does, and that's one of the overarching principles that both the FDA and the FTC have with respect to interpreting or understanding, what are the claims in a particular advertisement or in a particular promotional piece. Making a drug claim for a non-drug product constitutes misbranding under the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, and misbranding is a violation of the law. So yeah, it's illegal to make drug claims for a non-drug product like a dietary supplement or a conventional food.
Okay, and what types of penalties are there for doing this? Now, I know the company can get in serious trouble, but do distributors get in trouble?
Absolutely, they sure can. The fines can range from something as benign as a warning letter from the FDA to, criminal sanctions, including fines, and for, extreme violations of the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, even prison.
Wow. Well, it's something to learn about. So let's jump into this. Number one, I think we've got number one down. Has an effect on a specific disease or class of diseases. What's the definition of the class of diseases?
An example of that category, of that type of a claim would be, oh man, I have so much pain in my joints. I mean, from my fingers to my elbows to my knees, oh, my joints are just always in pain. But since I started taking product X, my joint pain disappeared. I don't mention the word arthritis, but
Right.
when somebody talks about joint pain, the FDA's position is, unless you make it clear that you're referring to a non-disease state, then the implied claim is, hey, you're curing, treating, preventing, or mitigating arthritis.
Mhm.
Examples of non-disease states, around joint pain could be claim or pain associated with overuse or overexertion, like, oh man, I played flag football all weekend long and my back is killing me. Well, it's clear that the source of the pain isn't a disease state like arthritis. It's clear that it was from me overdoing it on the weekend. So the FDA would not interpret that to be a drug claim. There's certain,
Oh,
conditions associated with aging, from Alzheimer's to dementia, arthritis, osteoporosis, things like that. So, and again, I mean, that it's, aging is a very natural
mhm.
thing, but when we start talking about, and again, there, gradations. We talk about, remedying the loss of memory associated with the aging process. A lot of people may interpret that to be, again, Alzheimer's or dementia. Again, on the other hand, there are claims that the FDA said, okay, that are okay for dietary supplements. For example, improves absent-mindedness. Again, we're not talking about dementia or Alzheimer's. I mean, all of us suffer from occasional absent-mindedness.
Okay, that makes sense. Has an
Sure.
effect on a disease or diseases through one or more of the following factors. These are
Right.
the name of the product. Like if
Right.
it was brain cure,
Well, cancer cure. That
cancer
would,
cure.
yeah, yeah, or yeah, cardiac arrest fixer, something like that.
Okay.
Obviously, those names would be a problem.
Okay. A statement about the formulation of the product, but they can't link it to their product, or they can.
Well, again, the devil's in the details. So,
Yes.
a legal conclusion is like a mathematical equation. It's like, A plus B equals C. A is the facts, B, is the applicable law, and C is the conclusion. When we apply the facts to the law, we get a certain conclusion. When we change the facts, we, can absolutely change the conclusion. So I'm not trying to avoid your question, but the answer really depends on all of the operative facts involved.
No, I hate it when you talk lawyer to me.
Sorry about that.
All right, so let's keep going.
Well, again, except that, yeah, your general statement. So, for example, and again, this aligns with some of the express findings that Congress articulated in DSHEA, saying, hey, there absolutely positively is, a relationship between nutrition and the prevention of diseases. So again, the FDA has to tread lightly here And in the, in the commentary that implemented Section 101.93, the FDA, had some language about the fact that, if you want to talk just generally about the relationship between nutrition and disease, that's probably going to be okay. But if you start, going toward, hey, this product helps reduce, disease generally, or, specific diseases, obviously that's going to transgress into drug claims territory.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot to consider when you make a statement as to whether or not you're making a drug claim.
We've seen the FDA object to things like a diagram of like an EKG, that has maybe a heart over it, like, hey, this is going to prevent heart attacks. And again, I think it's a little bit of a stretch at times, but they have been somewhat vocal about the fact that certain graphics could constitute drug claims, because generally the one that trips up people a lot is the next one, that a dietary supplement is a substitute for a product that is a therapy for disease. For example, to make a claim that, hey, this product is herbal Prozac. Okay, well, Prozac is unquestionably a drug for depression, and a claim that, hey, this is a substitute or an alternative to that, absolutely positively is a drug claim. Or, hey, this is herbal Viagra is something that's very popular also. An example of a dietary supplement claim that a product augments a particular therapy or drug action would be, hey, this product helped counteract the negative effects of chemotherapy. Well, we all know, chemotherapy has, horrible side effects. And so a claim, even though, a claim about chemotherapy we're not saying this product cures, treats, mitigates, or prevents cancer. But what we're saying is, hey, it helps, but chemotherapy obviously is, a cancer treatment regimen, and with some very ugly side effects. And so when we make claims, not about the underlying disease, cancer, but the side effects of the drug or the treatment therapy, then that becomes a drug claim as well.
Wow. Okay.
Number 9 was really, when I talked about, hey, this product helps counteract the side effects of chemotherapy. That's a number 9 example. And number 10 is just simply a catch-all, for the FDA. It's like, hey, if the claim doesn't really fit within the first 9, let's see if we can get it into number 10.
Okay. Last question. We're running a little bit over, but I think everybody's going to hold on just to hear you talk about this. It is such a subject that needs to be covered in every single company that I come in contact with. This is always, always, always a question. That's why the video today. First question, and it could open a can of whatever, but we'll ask it. Whenever we talk about drug claims, we talk about structure function. Do we need to understand structure function to understand if we're making a drug claim?
It definitely helps. Well, the first thing is to understand that, dietary supplement claims and drug claims are really polar opposites in terms of claims. Drug claims are all about preventing, curing, treating, mitigating, or diagnosing disease. Okay. Dietary supplement claims, namely structure function claims, they're really 4 different categories of claims that DSHEA allows for dietary supplements. But the sexy ones are structure function claims. Structure function claims are all about keeping the body or a particular part of the body, like your bones, your lungs, or a particular function of your body, heart function, immune function, digestive function, in an optimal state of health. So, on the one hand, we're talking about a disease state of health. On the other hand, we're talking about an optimal state of health. That's why I say they're really polar opposites. And unfortunately, so many marketers, so many companies just gravitate toward the wrong end of the claim spectrum in terms of, hey, we just want to make all the disease claims that we can possibly make. It's like, no, great nutrition is all about keeping the body, its parts, and its function really in an optimal state of health. So that's really the big issue at the 5,000 foot level.
Okay. And our last question is, what did we miss? If you were listening to this whole thing, what did we miss that might just turn the light bulb on for someone?
Sure. Well, we missed the other huge issue, and that's the FTC issue of substantiation. Okay. The FTC doesn't care whether a company or its independent contractors are making drug claims. That's an FDA issue. Their issue is, hey, whatever claims you're making, do you have adequate substantiation for them?
Mhm.
And when we talk about safety or efficacy claims, the standard is competent and reliable scientific evidence. So that's another huge topic that I guess we'll have to do it another time. If this is my personal experience with the product, then I can make those claims. For example, like I mentioned earlier, if I really was diagnosed with diabetes 3 years ago, and 3 months ago I started taking this product, and
Mhm.
now, I can prove that I'm diabetes free, I don't understand why I can't share that experience with other people. And the
Mhm.
answer is because my experience is anecdotal. It's not competent, reliable scientific evidence, which is further defined as, tests, studies, analyses conducted by, qualified professionals to yield results generally accepted within the profession, blah, 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 blah. So again, my individual case study, my individual experience will never, ever, ever constitute competent, reliable scientific evidence, which is to say adequate substantiation. But
Mm.
that's beyond the scope of, what is and is not a drug claim.
This is the compliance queen signing out for our first series of compliance solutions. Kevin, we can't thank you enough. It's been 33 minutes of pure education. Thank you very much for your consideration and your involvement on the webinar today. Any
You're very,
closing comments?
you're very welcome, and it was my pleasure. Thank you, Donna Marie.
Thank you. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on the next
All
compliance
right.
solutions.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.